Anger. Anger is a natural emotion. That's what I want to talk about today, is anger. What anger is, where it comes from, how it affects us and others physically and emotionally, ways that anger is expressed, and how to process our anger in a healthy manner. I'm going to go through these. My analogy of anger is you're either a skunk or a turtle. And if you want to hear the most dangerous animal in my analogy, stick to the end, because I'm going to tell you about that. So, yes, anger is a natural emotion. It comes from maybe feeling threatened or disrespected, or a lot of different things. Some natural, healthy anger. It's usually a second emotion. Most anger is dredged up by unmet needs, fear, or hurt. People who are angry often need to learn how to feel their hurt. And people who are really hurt often need to process their anger. So we're going to get into this. Like I said, it is a natural emotion. Part of the emotional wheel, sad, glad, mad, and afraid. And oftentimes people react to fear with anger. That is the natural reaction we should have. Anger changes us physically. When you get really angry, your heart rate goes up, your breathing gets deeper or faster, your blood vessels will open up, your eyes dilate, your face flushes. I mean, anger, you feel it in your body, and it affects you emotionally. And these are natural responses. It's the fight or flight or freeze, or however you react to a threat. And it is there to protect us. But often anger becomes skewed, or it's not processed, or it's not, once the adrenaline leaves from the threat, then you settle down and you're okay. Children who have unmet needs or live in fear, like abuse or conflict, or they think they can't express their anger as a child, then they learn ways to deal with anger that are not healthy. An angry child grows up to be an angry adult, and this is a defense mechanism. And so they deal with stuff in their life with anger. They learn that it controls other people, they get what they want, and they're just a skunk, spraying their anger all over everywhere. And this stink gets on them and everybody around them. And it is a habit. They're not an angry person. They have the habit of using anger as a defense mechanism. And if you're around one of these people, they scare you. Then we're going to talk about the other spectrum. There's the aggressive of the skunk and the passive of the turtle. The turtle, something happens and they feel it, and they will stuff the anger down and not address it. They'll make excuses. They'll diffuse it. They'll, just shove it under the rug. And, I was from the nice family, and I thought it somehow got in my head that it was a sin to get angry. And it's not. It's not a sin. The Bible tells us that don't let the sun go down on your anger, not don't get angry. So it's that healthy way of learning how to express our anger. First, I want to talk about the aggressive type of anger. This is your skunk. You know they're angry. Their behavior is they are yelling, they're gaslighting you, they may be throwing whatever's in their hand, using abusive language, cussing, attacking verbally. They make threats. They just spew their anger everywhere. There's a reason that anger is used as a defense mechanism. You feel like you're in control, when really it's an illusion of control. You can control others with your anger, or control the feelings you don't want to feel with your anger, but it's an illusion. When you feel hurt and afraid, you feel out of control. Just don't want to cry. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to feel afraid. It's all an illusion. And then the turtle. The turtle withdraws. They withdraw in their little house and they shut down. They may pout. They blame others. They become the victim. They'll repress it. Oh, it's okay. It's not that bad. And they do all of that sort of stuff. And this is one extreme or the other with anger. Okay, now we'll talk about the most dangerous animal there is. And that's your spraying turtle. They're passive aggressive. They will shut down, they'll pout, but then they use sarcasm. It's that little barbed remarks or flippant remarks, or they may be slamming the door or stomping around, and you ask them, "Are you mad?" And they'll say, No. What's wrong? Nothing. They'll exaggerate slights. They'll they're angry. Your turtle, just your regular straight turtle, usually don't even know they're angry. Sometimes they don't even know they're angry. They don't know how to get in touch with their anger. So what happens with all of this is the passive aggressive and the passive is you stuff that anger down and you stuff that anger down, and one day the lid blows off. And I like to talk about, a pressure cooker and, man, the Instapot. And it has this little rocker on it that lets steam out, but it also has this little valve. And the little valve pops up, seals off, and it pressure cooks the food in there. Now, I remember, it's been years ago, I had one of those little pressure valves pop out of my pressure cooker, and it spewed food, a nice, like, tomato sauce, all over my kitchen, on the ceiling and the cabinets and everywhere. And that's kind of how anger is. It gets slung around and the lid blows off. I know for me personally, I was a turtle. I would stuff it and stuff it and stuff it and stuff it. And then there would be this little broken shoelace and I would be mad. And all this litany of the list of things I was angry about would come out. And then gradually I became the spraying turtle. I used those barbed remarks, sarcasm. And sarcasm, its root word is sarcasio, and it means to tear flesh. And that's, it was a weapon that I began to use because I was angry, but I didn't know how to express it, or I didn't know what to do with it. And so that brings me to how do you express anger in a healthy manner? Well, you feel it. It's a choice. Now, some would probably argue with me. I was told repeatedly by someone else, "You make me angry." And I can remember the day that I finally told him, if I had that much power, I'd zap you with a lightning bolt. Now, that wasn't necessarily a healthy way to express my anger, but I learned how to do that. And I didn't believe that it was a choice. Someone else makes me angry, or some situation makes me angry. It's, well, I learned that it was a choice one day when I was angry and I was doing my yakking in the car, driving, and I pull up to the convenience store and I go in, and there's this lady that was working there that I hadn't seen in a long time. And it's all pleasant and all this stuff. And I got back in the car and I wanted to pick that up where I left it off. And I thought, I'm choosing to be angry. I can choose to pick that back up. But for 10 minutes in that store, I wasn't angry. And so that's one of the things today when I get angry is I think I'm choosing to be angry. Now, the process is you do have to process those feelings. So I can ask myself, do I feel threatened? Has someone hurt my feelings? Those type of things. What needs do I need met? And I decipher that. And if I can't figure that out, I talk to a safe person. Now, I don't go about complaining to everybody that will listen to me about this. Complaining, I had the habit of complaining for sure. And that was a hard habit to break. That spraying turtle was just with that complaining. And man, people got to where they didn't want to be around me because all I would do is complain. So process that with a safe person. If you don't feel like you got somebody safe to talk to, take a piece of paper and a pen and write about it. More will come out. And then you process that and you work through it and you get calm. If you have the habit of it being a defense mechanism, it's going to be a hard thing to break that. So I envision a stop sign. Stop. When I work with anger management, you have to interrupt whatever it is and whatever works for you to interrupt that. So you interrupt it and you begin to process. Sometimes it takes, therapy to get to the bottom of why are you so angry all the time, So if you've got somebody's hurt your feelings and you got to go to them, be sure you are calm down before you do that. And instead of going to them and saying, you did this and you did that, and you're focusing on their behavior, not on what you feel and what you need. So the best way to handle this is to say, I feel when, and then state your needs. Often we don't know how we feel. I have people will say, well, I feel that he does this or I feel that that's unfair. Those are opinions. Your feelings are, I feel hurt. I feel afraid. Those are feelings. You have to do the I am. Well, when you can get to the feeling and say, I feel betrayed when you do this. I need for you to not do that. Do you know what you need? Do you know how you feel? That's where it starts, is knowing how you feel and knowing what's going on. Know yourself. Develop that relationship with yourself so that you can get to the bottom of this anger issue. That you don't have to be a skunk and you don't have to be a turtle and you certainly don't have to be a spraying turtle. You can just be healthy you. Which brings me to just be yourself. Might as well. Everybody else is taken. So remember to be you on purpose.